All right, we'll get started here with a Mesoscale update here in a second. Give people time to join and also make sure I got all my graphics loaded up here. All right, we'll get started here. Wanted to do a quick Mesoscale update, show you how things are evolving across the area. So far, it is quiet here in the tri-state. Back off to the west, it's kind of where all the activity is taking place, mainly with a line of storms that produce damaging winds. A few tornado warnings and some hail starting to come in around the Springfield, Missouri area. Right now on your screen, you see a picture of the 500 millibar winds. So you can see a nice jet streak here pushing across Oklahoma and into southwest Missouri. Again, that jet streak showing winds of 130 to 140 miles an hour. That's pretty high up in the atmosphere. So this is what we call the mid-level jet. But you can see that energy that's pushing in to the area. Obviously, as this powerful storm system pushes into the tri-state. We'll take a look at this would be our 700 millibar winds. No, actually, this is the 850. Sorry, I didn't change the label up there. It should say 850 winds up there instead of satellite or temperatures and satellite. But you can see the winds are kind of in the 50 to 60 mile an hour range right now. We'll kind of see two areas split off here for the low level jet. So your 850 millibar winds is what we kind of refer to as a low level jet. But you'll see these winds increase here across Missouri and into Illinois and northern Arkansas. Then we have another area back here. So the winds here will really ramp up as they move into the tri-state. So right now, they're about half of what we expect them to be. As we move on into tonight, we expect those to be up around 190 to 100 miles an hour, and that's about 5,000 feet off the surface. 700 millibar winds, you can kind of see those starting to increase as well. Kind of this is the lowest level or the highest level of the lowest part of the atmosphere. So this is where we're seeing winds of 75 to 80 miles an hour. This is about 10,000 feet up. So you can see the wind strengthening here at 700 millibars. Haven't seen the response yet here at 850, but we will see those winds strengthen as we move on into the night here. We'll go ahead and pull up our maps here and we'll take a look at what's going on right now. So as you see off to the west, pretty solid line of showers and thunderstorms has developed. Pretty much warnings all up and down that line. We'll zoom in a little bit here. These are all severe thunderstorm warnings. We do have a tornado warning here to the east of Springfield, Missouri, which is pretty much just south of I-44. All these yellow polygons with the red fill on the inside, those are considerable severe thunderstorm warnings. So those are issued when the Weather Service is confident in damaging winds or hail or it all depends on what they expect. So as you can see here with that information box that I just pulled up, so you can see thunderstorm damage threat considerable. So usually when the Weather Service is confident, it will either be a considerable tag or a destructive tag where they're confident that damage is going to occur. Again, kind of the main threat so far here across Missouri has been damaging winds in excess of 70 miles an hour. And a lot of those have verified too. Let me kick the storm reports on here and we'll take a look at some of the reports that have come in here. Get those a second to load up here. Maybe. There we go. A lot of hail reports here from pretty much Springfield south back into northwest Arkansas. You can see the wind reports and damage reports kind of coming in across pretty much central Missouri. A lot of 60 to 70 mile an hour wind gusts and damage as well. most of the large hail reports have really started to come in here to the south of Springfield and east of Springfield here over the last hour. We'll take those off here, and then we'll take a look at, actually, we'll take a look at the new hot pink box that just popped up on screen. So that's a confirmed tornado, um, or observed tornado. So when you see a hot pink box on our radar program, that indicates that there's a tornado has been reported or on the ground. Also, it's the same thing for a tornado emergency. So as we move on into the night, if you see any of these hot pink boxes pop up on our screen, then that will tell you that we are seeing an active tornado on the ground. But you can see this individual storm itself is moving at 64 miles an hour. So essentially, you think interstate speeds as you're traveling in your car down the interstate, you're pretty much near the speed limit. So that's how fast these storms are moving right now. So you can see here, Evansville's back well to the east here. So we're still looking at a good 3 to 5 hours before these storms, or excuse me, 5 to 7 hours before these storms move into the tri-state. We are keeping an eye on some activity back in northwestern Arkansas. That activity will continue to develop. I'll show you the latest CAPE values and CAP values here. We'll get that loaded up real quick. But you can see pretty much a cap in place here across southeast Missouri, back into northwest Tennessee, western Kentucky, and here in the tri-state. Pretty weak cap, but we'll see that increase. But you can see 200, 300 joules per kilogram. That's still a decent size cap on the atmosphere. So that's essentially putting that lid on the atmosphere. Would keep a whole lot from developing. Instability here, we'll take a look at that as well. You can see CAPE values are running about between 500 and 1,000 across the tri-state. Back to the west, obviously, we have more instability here. We're seeing CAPE values between 500 and 1,500. So that's kind of where we'll keep an eye. As far as mesoscale, what we're going to be looking at as far as instability, convective inhibition, which would be your cap across the tri-state. So this is your 500 absolute vortices. So you can see pretty much where the energy is coming from for these storms that are triggering those storms further off to the east, that pretty much pushing out of eastern Kansas. So that's where your positive vortice advection is there. Anything that's not colored obviously isn't as much, or isn't showing much advection. Getting here a little short wave pushing off western Kentucky, but really not tripping anything as far as storms or anything. Some of the wind gusts, as you can see, where that jet's pretty much pushing across Oklahoma and Kansas, we're seeing wind gusts of 40 to 60 miles an hour. These are sustained winds. Again, this is kind of where that upper level low and area surface low pressure is located right here. So that continues to intensify, but you can see these areas of 40 to 50 to even 60 mile an hour winds behind the storm. So again, we continue to expect gradient winds overnight that could cause power outages or potentially even damage across the tri-state. We'll take a look at, let me switch us over to a different source real quick. We'll take a look at some of the latest model data that's coming in. So as far as timing for the line of storms, expect the same general time frame. So this is at 7 p.m. So here you can kind of see where that line's pretty much set up. That's on schedule as far as that. Again, kind of monitoring this area here across Arkansas and eastern Texas into Louisiana. Also watching for storms to pop here along the Mississippi River on the Arkansas-Mississippi border. We'll keep an eye on those and how they develop. A few showers may try to pop here across southeast Missouri, but I still think the main threat is going to be with the line here. With that cap still kind of in place here, I think that's going to limit those showers from being able to take off and produce any severe weather. Again, you can see a pretty solid line. So this is about 10 p.m. tonight. We see it pushing through pretty much St. Louis, pushing through the Boot Hill of Missouri. That's 11 p.m. Again, you can see that line starting to cross the Mississippi River. Again, still a pretty solid line from about Chicago back down towards the Cape Girardeau area and then back into Arkansas, Tennessee, and Mississippi. That's where we'll kind of see some scattered supercells develop down there, where they could see some tornadoes, some strong ones down there as well. Again, line continues to push across the tri-state. So this is about 1 a.m. So about 1, 2 a.m. we expect to see that line of storms along the Wabash River pushing through southern Illinois, getting ready to move into southwest Indiana. We'll keep an eye on the activity ahead of the line, see if it does anything as far as strengthen. Overall, I still think the main threat's going to be with the line of storms. Like I've been saying for days now, the main threat's going to be damaging winds. Some of those damaging wind gusts could be in excess of 70 miles an hour. So obviously that's going to cause damage, power outages, trees to come down, stuff like that. So definitely want to be prepared to seek shelter. Even if it's a severe thunderstorm warning, you want to be in a substantial shelter in your interior room, away from windows and doors until that storm pushes through the area. Again, by about 3 a.m. here, you can see that line continues to push across southwest Indiana and western Kentucky. And then by right around daybreak, you can see that line has been pushed to the east of the area, but we see some additional scattered showers and thunderstorms developing across western Kentucky. Again, we'll keep an eye on this activity that will push in from the south tomorrow, again, with the potential for some severe weather from late Saturday morning into the early afternoon hours. So we'll keep an eye on those to see if they potentially produce some severe weather, mainly in the form of damaging winds, maybe an isolated tornado. But again, the biggest severe weather threat tomorrow will be across Mississippi and Alabama, where a regional tornado outbreak will likely occur with some strong tornadoes down there. So that's the latest we have here in the TristateWx Weather Center. I would expect to see a watch here from the Storm Prediction Center. Make sure I haven't missed anything from them to see if potentially they have plans to issue one. Let's see. So there may be a watch issued here for portions of eastern Arkansas into northwest Mississippi and western Tennessee. That also gets pretty close to the Missouri Boot Hill and western Kentucky. So we could see that include getting close to some of our tri-state counties. So they're monitoring that area. We kind of just talked about that, where those storms look to develop right along the Mississippi River. So we'll keep an eye on that. Again, right now, no mesoscale discussions for a watch in our area. I would say probably in the next 2 or 3 hours, we'll probably see a watch pop for the tri-state. Again, that will most likely be a tornado watch. But again, tornado threat's going to kind of be more isolated. I still think damaging winds, main concern, in excess of 70 miles an hour. But we will see those embedded tornadoes from time to time, especially along the lines of storms that develop tonight. So we'll keep you posted, give you the latest updates as we head through the evening. We'll also keep you updated as far as when that watch is going to be issued. Again, this will be an overnight event, so we need to have the ability to get warnings. So a NOAA weather radio is your best bet. You know, a lot of people want to use cell phones. Cell phone's great, but it's not 100% foolproof yet. You know, you still have computer automation failures. That's how a lot of your warnings come from your apps and stuff like that. So it's not always a guarantee that you're instantly going to get that warning. With the NOAA weather radio, the second that warning is issued by the weather service, that weather radio is activated. As soon as they hit that send button from the computer station they're working at, you are alerted immediately. Again, can't rely on outdoor sirens. They are not designed to warn you for where you're inside. A outdoor siren is to warn you when you are outdoors. Say you're at a baseball park or outside exercising or stuff like that. Hopefully nobody will be outside exercising at midnight tonight. But again, that's not what those sirens are designed for. You're not supposed to be able to hear them on the interior of your home. If you're close to one, then yes, obviously you're going to hear that siren, but it's not designed to warn everybody inside their house. So make sure you have those NOAA weather radios going. Again, we'll have live coverage all night. We'll be here all night long, keeping you posted and then covering all of the warnings across the tri-state. So Thank you for tuning in. Again, we'll be back here shortly with another update, and we'll keep you posted on when that